Mr. President, we don't have much time. I go straight. So I will start with the Italian scenario. And, we have a new government. It's totally different from Draghi, as you know. But Miss Meloni, the new premier, has expressed pro-NATO positions. Together with the new foreign minister, Mr. Tajani, who was also the president of the European Parliament, as you know, in the past. But of course, you know better than me, there are relevant components in this coalition who had expressed pro-Russia position in the past, and even recently. So first of all, are you concerned that one of the major components of the European community have such a government? What is your impression? What would you say?
Поки що у мене немає ніякої реакції на дії, окрім позитивних, на дії нового прем'єр-міністра. У нас була одна розмова по телефону, вона запевнила, що вона повністю підтримує Україну, а вона проти російської агресії, вона бачить Україну в майбутньому в альянсі. Тож ці позиції мені в цілому в альянсі, в Європейському Союзі, вона підтримує майбутнє України. Тобто, і після того, як вона стала, також я бачу, що обговорюється питання наступного military пакету щодо підтримки України. Поки тільки позитив. Я не бачу якусь проросійську сторону цього питання.
What was your reaction hearing what Mr. Berlusconi, who was in the past an important political figure, and even today, openly supporting Mr. Putin, even
using the same words,
the same expression,
narratives,
same narrative, exactly.
Same narratives. Yes, I think that is the answer. So I don't see, I didn't see, his own opinion or society who supported him. Opinion. I saw opinion of Putin. So he just gave some words, and it's not his own words. I think so, because if it was his words, I afraid. Why? But anyway, that 8%, yes, about 8% supported him.
9%, yes, was the result of elections.
Yes, that is the reaction. That is the reaction of society. So he had of the support of Berlusconi. So I don't need my reaction because enough Italian reaction. It was not so high, and I think he used my surname and me because without using my surname and Ukraine, I think so. He could get less percent because I think not a lot of people remember him. That's it. I think so. But anyway, I wish I know that he's almost 90.
Yes.
I wish him health.
Mr. President, but exactly declaration by Mr. Berlusconi, as you know, Mr. Salvini, the leader of the Lombard League, was, even went around with Putin image on his shirt. Are you afraid, as some European leaders are concerned, that Italy can be the new Trojan horse of Russia in Europe, so weakening the European position? Italy is an important country in the European community, so this Trojan horse idea.
Я не вірю, я вірю все ж таки в серйозну, потужну позицію соціуму італійського. Я бачу, що люди підтримують Україну. А підтримка України – це складна робота. Просто складна робота. Бо виклик – агресія Росії. Виклик – відмовитись від якихось бізнес-інтересів з Російської Федерації. Виклик – це та якась нестабільність. Але заради чого? Заради цивілізованого майбутнього. І тому це складна робота підтримувати Україну, бо це підтримувати свободу в цілому в Європі. І легше бути сказати, а я підтримую Путіна, розповсюджувати ці наративи тощо. Тому що це, в принципі, слабкість.
Do you have any message to the new government, to to the new president. If you can tell us a little bit more about your conversation with the new Prime Minister, with Georgia. Georgia, exactly.
I asked her, can I say Georgia? She said, yes, of course, Volodymyr. And we spoke it, yes.
Very personal.
Very personal. And I think we built that new kind and new level relations between Ukraine and Italy, and it was during a period of Mario Draghi, and it's about him and about Italian society, about people, and we built, I think, very good, strong relations, and I don't want to destroy them. And I said all these signals to Georgia, and she said, yes, of course, I really support you, and I want to have the same level of that you had. I don't want to destroy. And I said, so we have joint opinion and joint unity, and we need it, because I don't believe that Italy will be, like you said, Trojan horse. Yes. And I believe in it. So I mean that I invited. Yes.
You invited her?
Yes, of course.
To Kyiv?
I invited to Kyiv. She said that she will come. Yes. So that's it. Of course, there are, risks. Of course, but the risks for today, they not depend on us, because we are very open, honest with Italy. We are very thankful for this help, for big support from Italy. It was very complicated beginning of our relations, and then they understood. No, the government, they understood. They came to Kyiv. They saw our people. They saw the result of Russian aggression. So it wasn't so difficult for me to explain when you can see. Just come and see what they did. You are a long time here. So I mean that it's simple if people are ready to open their eyes. It's like Russian society. If they are not ready to open their eyes to understand what's going on, what to do.
Sir, about specific, we're talking just now with Mr. Nikiforov. Is there anything specific you would like to ask to the Italian, like, I don't know, anti-aircraft, anti-drone systems? Is there anything you really expect from Italy specific?
Yes, air defense system. It's for us, high priority for today. You know why? Because we want people to come back from abroad, from other countries, to come back, to go to, the children have to have possibility to go to schools, universities, etc. And without security, without air defense system, we can't do it. And there are so little number of countries who produce air defense system. Not only who produce, and Italy produces together with France and Germany. There are systems stamped. The name stamped air defense systems. Stamped. It's the same as AMPT. Yes. And so I mean that we very need. That is my signal. I told this signal to the government of Italy. We really will appreciate if they can help us with it. Without it, we can't, launch economic. Without it, our country will not work, so economy will not live.
Sir, in a way you already answered, but I'd like to understand a bit more how you see I'm talking about Europe now. European Union is divided, there are different, Germany is different from France and from Italy now. How do you see the standing of European Union on the whole at the moment? And maybe you're afraid that the new Italian government can create a kind of a new attitude, can generate a new attitude from the European community, more critical, less supportive. Are you afraid of that, or you still see a Europe?
I think we stopped to be afraid on 24th of February. I think so. We don't afraid. We don't have time to be afraid. We don't have time to discuss a lot. That's why we changed our attitude to a lot of things, to friends or partners. This, different. Even sometimes small country can be bigger than big country. So everything with this war changed, and you have fight for relations. I think for good relations you also have to fight each day. Yes, it's not on the battlefield like with aggressors. It's on the diplomatic field. You have to fight for this, and for sanctions, for diplomatic support, for resolution in United Nations. So for everything you have to fight and not to be afraid, not to lose time. It's very important, and I think you are absolutely right. Different, Germany is different, France, Italy, but sometimes we have to save the world. You have to find a reason why people were different, why leaders were different, nations and countries were different, have to join. And I think the war has pluses and minuses. I don't see too many pluses, yes, but one plus I see, that this is the aggression of Russia was the example of that reasons with which join different nations and countries.
You know, talking about that, the question which came to my mind is, when I participate to debate on the TV in Italy, I hear this growing point. It is up to Zelensky to make peace. It's like it's the war in your hands. It's a new position. It's growing also from Germany. It's Zelensky to decide when to talk with Putin. I mean,
it's a new narrative. We know
it's a new narrative.
Yes.
And also Berlusconi narrative, by the way. But what would you answer to this? Really,
it's like dialogue. Now we are speaking. Yes, if you want to speak, you speak. You can't say with a weapon, yes, with a weapon say that let's have dialogue. From the very
you mean threatening?
Yes, yes. It's from the very beginning. It's not about dialogue. It's about ultimatum. Yes, in English.
Threatening you under threat.
Yes,
you have to surrender.
Yes, that's it. So it's not about dialogue. Dialogue means that we have to stop now. Why, to understand why we began such war relations, why they did it. Also, they have to understand, because they said that the narrative is something that they afraid of Russian society, of Russian-speaking society. So, and you understand that it doesn't work, because after that, after 24th, they killed mostly Russian-speaking society, because this society lived exactly on the east, exactly in Kharkiv, Mariupol mostly Russian-speaking. Yes, so it doesn't work. It means if you want to speak, if country want to speak, you don't occupy nuclear stations. How you do? What do? You don't kill people. You don't 100 rocket attacks during 2 days or 1 day. It was during 2 days. It was 130. What dialogue? That is not the dialogue. That is another meaning of conversation. That is ultimatum, not a dialogue. It's not in my hands that to stop the war. In my hands now, not to lose the war with our people, not to lose, to fight. But here, we don't kill them on their situation. We only answer, but we can't, мовчати, да?
We can be silent.
We can't be silent, because they will kill all us. That's it. So, if they go out, they can say, yes, we began war steps in 2014 from the occupation of Crimea. We have our truth. They can say, well, okay, they have to go out and say, now we should decide how to live further, further, how to live, how our children will live. We are neighbors. How it will be?
On the peace process question, of course, we will go a little bit further.
Okay.
But, you are a politician. But since the 24th of February, you became more like a general, you look how you dress, you military.
Very comfortable. I was in costume.
You were in costume before.
I said that there are a lot of pluses of the war. You see, that is one of the comfortable.
So I would like really to have your assessment on the ground. Myself, I've been a lot in your country, visiting from Donbass to Kherson areas. We are entering the 9th month of this war. When you think you will be able finally to free Kherson, Donbass, but on the other side, the Russians look like they don't want to stop. Even if they will lose Kherson, they will go on.
They don't want to stop from the very beginning. Their mission is only one. They don't have second plan, plan B, C. They have only one plan, and they had it to occupy all the territory. What we wanted when I became the president, we saw, we understood a lot of things, but we wanted to dialogue about what they are speaking now in Germany, like you said, in media, or in Italy, somewhere. I mean, that we proposed, I don't know, 100 times, just to sit and speak. Okay, don't want to meet? Okay, you think that you are not the same level than me? Yes, you are high, you are the president of the country. Okay, let's do it on the phone. If you don't want, okay, give us somebody who will speak. For me, it's okay. Гордість, як це сказати? Honor. No.
У них немає такого, я думаю.
Тобто в мене, I mean that, I don't feel that I'm somebody, somebody president here. No, I'm a man.
You're willing to talk even with an emissary,
Yes,
with a representative, with an ambassador.
I said, for me, it doesn't matter level of the dialogue. I'm ready. And I wanted very much. And we had only one meeting in 2019, in December of 19, Normandy format. And we spoke, and I remember when we spoke about how to stop the war, and they didn't want, on the so-called, the Russian side, they didn't want to speak a lot about it. They said, we don't want to speak about Crimea. I said, okay, we will not speak about Crimea, but you have to know that we can't lose the time. The time will come then when we have to decide this problem. We have to do it. We have to speak. I said, okay, let's speak only about Donbass. You don't want about Crimea now? Okay, in the future, just let's speak. Let's speak about Donbass. And they said, yes, what to speak? Do Minsk, but it doesn't work. Minsk document. You did this document. You wrote this document because you knew that it's only for the frozen situation. You don't want to decide the problem. You see that people are on contact line, they are fighting. Each day they are fighting.
And now we are talking about the period before this last attack, before the last war. We are talking about 2018, 19, 20.
Yes, that's it. And they didn't want to have dialogue. They said only ultimatum. You have to recognize these republics. How to recognize them? Who are they? Why we have to? Why we speak with me? I'm the new president. Why you speak with me in such, manner? So you don't want dialogue. They didn't want. And after our meeting, we had result that we pushed them to change people. We changed a little bit more than 100 prisoners. And we had decision between us that in the nearest future, in the nearest 1 month or two, with Putin, we had decision, we'll change all the prisoners, all to all. And he told me yes. And we had this decision. But he was lying. Because after that, we didn't have, any meetings. Till this invasion.
Again, on the ground, Kherson, what do you think will happen? You think we'll be able to free it?
Oh, of course we'll be able.
But I mean,
That it's very difficult because the price are people. We don't have such attitude to people like Russian. For them, it doesn't matter how many people will be dead tomorrow. Yes, will die tomorrow. For us, it's very important. We can't just push people go there and die. It can't be so. That's why we are thinking, we are finding, we are asking our partners to give us more armed vehicles. Yes, to save more people.
It looks like you are succeeding in surrounding, in encircling, in having the siege, cutting the river, etc. So don't you have any forecast? When do you think that will be over? You'll be able to enter Kherson?
I don't see that they are running out of the Kherson. I see them, no. I think that is, information attack. Yes. For us, I don't want to say all the secrets, for us to come there to take off from some dangerous places, more people, and to go there. I think that was their information attack. So they are not ready to go out of Kherson. But they know that if we will have success, they will not have possibility to exit.
So we'll be sieged.
Yes. They know this problem and dangerous situation, but we work on it.
In the meantime, they're moving out population, civilians.
Not too much. I think that
25,000.
That is theater. Theater. The most tough soldiers, they are on the places. All of them. Nobody get away. We see it, and don't believe them.
Sir, a little bit on the atomic question. Just yesterday, there was this flurry of conversation by phone between Minister of Defense Shoigu from Russia to Austin, to the Turks, to the French, to the British, the same Minister of Defense. And they're talking about this dirty bomb. I saw already your reaction, but please, it will be very important. This is the first real interview we have with foreign press on this question. We'll really listen to your reaction on this question of the dirty bomb and about the threat of a real atomic
situation
from Russia.
Okay, in this case, it's a very sensitive question. I will speak Ukrainian, to be understandable, yes? По-перше, я вважаю, що це вочевидь залякування з боку Російської Федерації. Ми вважаємо, що залякування може бути порожнім, тому що вони готують якусь ту чи іншу провокацію. Вони можуть дати ті чи інші удари, як цими дронами, ракетні удари по відповідній інфраструктурі, для того, щоб потім сказати, ми били по цій інфраструктурі, тому що там щось виготовлялось. Знайти виправдання своїх ударів або окупації, захоплень, виправдання тут дві речі, для міжнародної спільноти, а також виправдання для свого внутрішнього суспільства, бо вони їх постійно накачують, що у нас готується якась ядерна зброя, ми не розуміємо, про що вони, і вони це пояснюють постійно своєму суспільству. І тут важливо, ми звертались нещодавно знов до пана Гросі, до речі, який приїжджав з місією МАГАТЕ на окуповану атомну станцію, Запорізьку атомну станцію, і тут також ми зараз запрошуємо Гросі поїхати на ті об'єкти нашої важливої, нашої критичної інфраструктури, до речі, про які натякають Російська Федерація, і ми хочемо, щоб місія терміново виїхала, перевірила всі наші об'єкти, про які говорить Російська Федерація, а також залишила там своїх людей, а також залишила своїх людей і на атомних станціях, інших атомних станціях.
Got your point. The possibility of Russia defeated on the conventional warfare, on the ground, at one point to use an atomic bomb, which is a big war in Europe. Do you think it's possible? The Russian defeated, having to withdraw Kherson, leaving Donbass, Crimea under threat, using atomic bomb.
Я вважаю, що це не пов'язані речі. Якщо Росія вирішила застосувати ядерну зброю, вона її застосує. Якщо вона не вирішила це зробити, а це залежить від тиску західного світу, вона її не застосує. Неважливо від того, що відбувається на полі бою. Знаєте, іноді ми думаємо, що ми маємо успіх на полі бою, і після цього Росія може застосувати ядерну зброю. Так що ж нам тоді не воювати за нашу землю? Логіка така, що нам тоді треба здатись, тому що вони, не дай Боже, будуть використовувати ядерну зброю. Ну, ми не готові з такою логікою жити, якщо чесно. Ну, вони завтра скажуть, що після України, не дай Боже, Україна не витримає, вони скажуть, дивіться, ми забираємо назад до складу Радянського Союзу, нового Радянського Союзу, ми забираємо назад Латвію, Литву, Естонію. Якщо ні, НАТО ні, ми будемо застосовувати ядерну зброю.
We talk a little bit now about American.
American.
We heard in the last, after Dugin daughter killed, after Kerch, we heard some kind of indirect criticism on your secrecy, on the way in which you act. I mean, do you feel the American support still the same, or a bit of pushing you in some direction, pushing you to be more open towards them? The question is, how is the relation, the military connection, the military relation between America and Ukraine? Do you feel any problem growing or not?
Є меседжі, які занепокоюють нас. Вони, мені здається, політичні, тому що вони звучать упродовж цього виборчого процесу, який в Сполучених Штатах Америки, щодо зниження підтримки України і тощо. Це можливо, я вважаю все ж таки, що це передвиборчі кроки. Будемо принаймні в це вірити. Що стосується підтримки Америки, двопартійна підтримка вона є, зберігається, і в Конгресі повна у нас підтримка зберігається. А вже ж, якщо буде перезавантажена політична атмосфера, може щось змінитись. Подивимось.
But of course there is a big ghost, Trump. Trump is there. And there'll be elections, there are midterm elections soon, and then big elections. That concern you, the return of Trump to power?
В будь-якому випадку це вибір людей, американських, і моя думка ніяк на це не вплине. Це перше. А друге, я скажу так, що Байден допомагає нам більше, ніж було до нього. Але при цьому я не можу звинувачувати зараз Трампа, тому що при ньому повномасштабного вторгнення не було. І тому я не знаю, як би він реагував.
At the beginning of the war, in March, let's say, meeting in Istanbul, there were more conversation, more news about a possible dialogue between Kiev and Moscow, between you and Putin, than in the last months, definitely today. The peace process looked much far away than at the beginning of the war, paradoxically. So, first of all, do you see at the moment any possibility of diplomatic channels, of negotiation? You already answered a bit in your previous remark, but again, do you see anything possible on the table?
First of all, you have to know, I mean, that if even in Europe society, not all of don't feel it, I mean that after the result that they did here in Ukraine and how they fight, we see it each day. So and we have messages from розвідка and from our intelligence, United States, Britain, Turkey, etc. It's one side when somebody from these countries publicly something saying, and another side when we know real situation. First, they are not interested in dialogue because in dialogue they will not get the result they want. Second, the result they want is to occupy minimum. We have to recognize Crimea like part of Russia, Donbass and Donbass and Donetsk and Luhansk, like, other independent something, regions, yes? Then they want Mariupol. They want they control the sea,
Azov.
And Azov, yes. That's why they специально, як сказати?
On purpose.
On purpose give you the format of the dialogue that you can't do, that you will accept, won't accept. So that is the idea, and it was the same idea before this, what was dialogue in Turkey, like
in Turkey,
it was the same. They want to, they are thinking, what more to propose Ukrainian, what something complicated do for them not to accept.
To refute.
Yeah, to refuse. They don't want. That's why they will be ready to speak when they will understand, first, that they are alone in the world geopolitical map. Second, that they can't occupy us. At that moment, they will say, we are ready. And everybody in Europe, in the world, will understand that they are ready.
So for the time being, it's only force, which have to stop this.
And isolation.
And maybe open.
Isolation. And the attitude of another countries of the world, the attitude of China, everything is very important. Everything is very important. When they give such messages of using nuclear power in different directions, even China, United States, it doesn't matter what the relations between China and United States. It doesn't matter when somebody on the earth speaking about using nuclear weapon. It can't be so. That's it. And when they will feel that is big country. So when they will feel that they are in all they are isolated, the society will push their government.
So on this purpose, really, this is a question that I would like to convey you as a kind of knowledge of what's happening in the European public debate, in the European discourse, and in the Italian public opinion. I remember having an interview with Mr. Kuleba, 2 or 3 times we spoke, and with the famous 16 points you proposed even when you appealed Mr. Putin for a direct dialogue in March. And there was the idea of freeze for 15 years. Remember, freeze for 15 years the status quo of Crimea and the Lugansk and Donetsk, and in exchange for Russia withdraw to the 23rd of February borders. We don't hear that anymore. Now more and more you talk about we have to go back to Crimea, no way to compromise on territory. What does it mean? You are now today more rigid, you learn from this war, you feel more powerful. I mean, is there any way that you can be more flexible on the question of Crimea as you were at the beginning of the war? Because we saw a change.
All of us, all the Ukrainians, we've been at the very beginning of the war, and we wanted to stop this war. After what we saw in Bucha, in all the cities, in Izium, after they did in Mariupol, nobody wanted to speak with them. With these people, because then they are not people. How you can speak with them? So it was before all of these steps, these bloody steps from their side. That was their kind of dialogue. And they proposed us such dialogue. And we are not ready for such way of speaking. That's why. Not we didn't lose the time or this possibility. They are terrorists.
So let me...
From aggressors, they did a step to terrorists. Another kind of the war. Another way of the war they demonstrated already. That is first reason. The second, like I said to you, that is without emotions. They don't want to see Ukraine like independent country. They don't want to see. For what? To speak with them? To say, we are sorry, or please don't kill us? For what? What to do? I mean, that the meaning of discussion with these people, with these political leaders, there is no meaning.
China. You mentioned
China, yes.
You mentioned China. The role of China. How do you see it?
Only they can't support. I really hope that they will not support Russia. They don't support now. There are, some questions, some directions, some, banks, financial situation where they work together, but it's not totally, and it's very good. They don't support them now with weapon. It's also very important, because China and their society, I think they began to understand, I really hope they began to understand that Russians, they are mentioning about nuclear weapon, the occupation of nuclear station. It's real fact. It's not about words. I think they saw what they did. Then blocking Black Sea, for what? For what? This food crisis, for what they did it? For what? They can export their wheat or corn or something, etc. I mean, agricultural product. They can. They are not on sanctions. They can do it. Why they blocked for Ukraine? Why? So what did they do? To get more money from their wheat. So I think that they did some like Bucha, Mariupol, and totally they saw, people begin to see that they are really not adequate. Adequate? Yes? Not adequate. Really not adequate.
So you still praise China for its...
I want them to appreciate after they will not balance and will give just messages to the world and to Russia that they have to stop this war, and I think it will have influence. And I think the relations between United States, Europe, Arabic world, and China is on that level when they have to negotiate their joint position to Russia. And I think it's very important. That is about, I said, about geopolitically isolation.
One word, Iran. One word.
Iran.
And the gas question.
I will tell you. It's a pity, but we have to recognize that Iran sold Russia or gave, I don't know, their relations. It doesn't matter for us. Hundreds and thousands on the way of drones.
They deny, but you say they deny. Tehran denied.
Yes, but it's not true. They can deny. It doesn't matter. We can show them. They can come. We can show them. They denied when you remember when they attacked Ukrainian airplane. I mean that it was in our history when they attacked by rockets our airplane. Civil airplane, yes, if you remember. Ukrainian Airlines.
The killing of.
Yes,
of course.
Yes. So they denied, and they told us, and I had phone calls with their leader, and he denied, and of course, then when we showed them real results that they killed our people, they said, sorry, we didn't want. Now they denied. We said to them, stop this. And not only one time, they did it several times.
So then I have a last question because it's looking me badly.
Yes.
And the question is, really I finish with something going back to Europe, but maybe this is the main subject which will affect the conversation in our parliaments in the next months. Gas. Economic crisis, gas levitation of prices, the question of cutting the Russian gas. What is your message to Italian entrepreneurs who are now suffering because of the price of energy? What have to say about that? Because many people say, why should I pay for Ukraine? That's the reasoning.
Because it's not.
Why should I pay to Ukraine?
It's not connecting with Ukraine.
Okay, good.
It's very important to understand that Russians did it before invasion, 1 year before invasion. They did this deficit of energy on the market. They did it already. They wanted to do it. So it's not about Ukraine, first. The second one, they don't need independent Europe, independent Italy, independent, I mean that by energy. They don't need, because they want to sell and to manipulate.
They don't want that we find alternative sources of energy. They want us to depend on Russia.
Of course, yes, but you will find alternative. And if somebody says, why I have to pay? If you don't want to pay, your children will pay. It means you can think about it during 4 months or during this very difficult winter, but difficult not because of Ukraine, difficult because of Russia. It's the same like people don't get wheat in Africa and somebody say it's because of Ukraine. No, we didn't block we need to export. You know, we want it and we need to export our energy. Because we have connection with European, network, but they occupied our station and bombed us.
Surplus of energy before the war.
So,
yes.
If I am an entrepreneur from Bergamo, from Brescia, from Milano, and come to me, Mr. Zelensky, why should I pay? Why should I close my industry? Why should I risk?
You pay for your freedom, not because of Ukraine. You pay for your freedom, but you will not pay next year. You will find the alternative. The world, the Europe will find jointly the alternative. And you will not pay next year, the year after, and your children will not pay. But if you don't want to do it now, your children, you will do it, and Russia will decide politically what to do in Italy. Russia will buy real estate in Italy and decide how to live or how not to live. It's very comfortable to eat Italian food and to say that we don't like Europe. It's very comfortable to be in Toscana, to have their villas everywhere. It's very comfortable, to relax in Europe, in clean, democratic Europe, to ride on great Italian cars, etc. It's very great. And then to come back, stolen money, because of corruption there, fully corruption, stolen money and pay for this war, and on elections always choose Putin. It's very good to say something there and then to relax on the sea in Italy. So if you don't love this civilization, live there, have rest there. And please buy Russian cars. Great, the best cars in the world. Buy them.
We thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry I abused your time, but it was very interesting.
It's good.
And
Thank you so much.
I waited so much to meet you, and thank you.
Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you that you are here. Bye-bye. Дякую.